Hey Tommy, thank you so much for allowing me to do this review for you. I truly do appreciate it, and I'm excited to share with you some of the information I've gathered here that I hope will be helpful when it comes to your online marketing and your online exposure. So the first thing we want to do is take a look at your website because we're going to be driving traffic to your website, and we want to make sure your website is very easy to navigate and quickly communicates to a potential customer what you're all about and why they should choose to do business with you instead of your competition. So while I'm here on your website, the first thing I wanted to say is that you included a photo right here. And this is a very good thing and a very important thing to have because studies show us that the longer somebody stays on your site, the more likely they are to do business with you. And the fact that you included this photo, it kind of grabs their attention right away. And so a lot of people might be staring at this photo for a little bit, looking at all the details of it. And so by having that photo right there, like I said, you automatically grab their attention, and it's basically forcing them to stay on the site longer. So the other thing I noticed that I really liked, what you did was you included a search button right there and also a search box right here. And this makes it really easy on the visitor of your site because if they're looking for certain types of photos, they don't have to browse through all your photos. They just have to go to the search box and search for whatever it is they want, and they could instantly get it. And so it's going to save them time, and obviously that's something important because you're showing them that their time is important to you as well. And again, same thing with the categories. I noticed you included or you recently uploaded down here. This is good because if you keep adding to these and you continually upload them or update them, if people like your photo, just the fact that they know every day or every week or whatever it is that there's going to be new uploaded photos, that's going to make them want to keep going back to your site, and so you'll get repeat visitors just because they know that you're going to be adding new photos to your site either every morning or once a week on, say, a Monday or whatever it may be. And so I would encourage you to continue to upload photos, but have a set date on when you're going to upload them, so that way people know that that's when they need to go on your site to view your new photos. The other thing I noticed on your site that I wanted to say you did a good job on was you included a contact button right here. Now the funny thing is, most people that create a site forget to include their contact information, and so they might have this beautiful website, but no one's going to be able to get a hold of them because nobody can talk to them because they didn't include their contact information. So if somebody has a question and somebody didn't include their contact information on there, then there's no way that person can ask the website owner a question because there's no way to get a hold of them. So you did a good job by including that. Now, one thing I might consider changing is the fact that this contact button is kind of hiding in the bottom left corner. So if I were you, what I would do is I would actually move it up to here. So you have the contact button right here. So that way, right when the site loads, they could see your contact button right there and click on it, because a lot of people might not be able to find it down here in the corner because this is what's called a cold spot on a website. It's called the footer, and the footer is a very cold spot and not many eyes go to it. So people might look for your contact information in here, they might look for it up here, but very few people are actually going to come down to here to look for it. So I would definitely move that up here. And what I would also do is include your email address or phone number in this section right here. That way people don't even have to click on a button to contact you. All they have to do is, right when your site loads, boom, there's your contact information. Now they could email you or call you with any questions or comments that they might have. So the other thing that I noticed was I would, like I said, this photo right here, it's good to have because it captures their attention. But one way we could capture their attention even more and make them stay on our site longer is if we choose, like, say 10 photos and have those photos rotating right here. So every 2 to 3 seconds those 10 photos will rotate, and so that'll make the person sit down and stare at their computer screen for even longer because now it's rotating between photos, and that's really entertaining for the visitor. And like we said, the main goal right now is to get people to stay on your site for a longer period of time. And so by adding rotating photos, that's one very easy way that we could do it. What I would also consider doing, and I noticed you said in one of your messages on LinkedIn that you aren't getting many people adding anything to the cart or anything like that. A lot of people, the first time they go to a website, they probably won't buy anything. The people that buy things are people that keep coming back to the website. And so a way to get somebody to keep coming back to their website is to I guess capture them. And what I mean by that is there's these things called email autoresponders that you can put on your website. I don't know if you've heard of them, but basically the person will enter their name and email address in exchange for something of value from you. So for example, if you could give them maybe a special 5% discount or 10% discount for leaving their name and email address, you'll get a lot of people doing that. Or it doesn't have to be a discount, you could give them anything of value that you think will entice them to leave their name and email address. And the cool thing about this is when they do leave their name and email address, the program will store it automatically and save it. And so all you have to do is write one email and click the send button, and the program will then go and send it to every single person on your email list, and it'll personalize it with their name, so it looks like it's a really personalized email to them. So it's really good for building a relationship with them and getting more customers. And so even if somebody goes to your site and doesn't buy anything, the main goal would be to get them to sign up for your email opt-in form, which I would put here on the side or right down here. And so for example, if you do a new set of photos and you want to sell them, all you would have to do is send out an email to the hundreds of people on your list saying, here's my new photos, here's how you could buy them, and leave the link. And it's just a great marketing tool, and I've seen this literally save people's businesses simply because they've captured a lot of the visitors that come to the site. And so that's one of the main things that I would consider including. The other thing I might change around a little bit is I would consider adding social buttons. And I noticed on your site you don't have links to a Facebook page or a Twitter account or even your LinkedIn account. Right up here I would include those. So if you don't have a Facebook or Twitter, I would definitely make one and include it right here. And then I would also include your LinkedIn account right up here. And the main reason I would do that is because a lot of people don't realize this, but the more you could build social proof, the better off you'll be. Because the more friends you get on Facebook and the more shares you get on your photos or the more connections you have on LinkedIn, the more people will be visiting your website. And so we want people going to your social site, so I definitely include a link to them right up in that area. Now the last thing I would change around is when somebody gets on your site, you have 8 seconds to build their trust. And one of the best ways to build somebody's trust is by leaving testimonials on your site. So I would gather maybe 4 or 5 testimonials from people that you've done business with in the past, and I would come down and I would put the testimonials right in this area right there. So I would drag all this down and put the testimonials right here. But I wouldn't have them all showing at once. What I would do is I would have them rotating actually. So if you have 4 or 5 testimonials, I would have them rotating every 2 to 3 seconds down here. And the reason we're doing this is because when somebody gets on your site, they're going to see, well, these people were happy doing business with Tommy, so there's no reason I shouldn't be happy with doing business with Tommy. And so that's going to build trust right away. But other than all that stuff, like I said, your website, it's nicely laid out. I think it clearly shows what you're all about and what you're doing. So if you make those changes, you might be surprised at the difference you get in your conversion rates. But now, Tommy, what I want to do is I want to take you over to Google real quick. Okay, so now you can see we're over here on Google, and I've typed in the key phrase photographer in Pittsburgh. And the thing is, these types of words are very important because this is someone who is actively going on to Google in search of your services. So this is someone who can very likely become a customer. But as you can see, there's ads here at the top. Sorry about that. There's ads here at the top, and then there's ads on the right hand side. Now this is something called Google AdWords, or PPC, which stands for pay per click. And the good thing about PPC is it can get you on the first page of Google very quickly, and sometimes even within an hour. Now the downside is you have to pay a small fee every time your ad is clicked on. But as you can see, there's a lot of people bidding to be on the first page of Google for these terms, and so that shows us that it's profitable for them because they're paying money for each click and they're still bidding to be there, so they wouldn't be doing that if they weren't making money off of it. The other way to rank on the first page of Google is through something called search engine optimization, or SEO for short. So as you can see, all these guys on the front page are benefiting from SEO and getting on the first page instead of on page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or beyond. And it's important to be on the first page because over 80% of people that perform a search don't actually get past the first page. So Tommy, you could have the best company, you could offer the best services, you could have the best pricing, and you might even be the most ethical company out there, but unfortunately if no one's going to see your website, they won't know about any of that. And so that's why it's really important to hold rankings on the first page of Google, because that's truly the most lucrative online real estate that you can have. Now the good thing about SEO is the fact that there's no charge whenever somebody clicks on your website. However, the downside is that unlike PPC, it does take a few weeks and sometimes a few months to get on the first page. But now what I want to do is actually want to take you over to something called the Google Keyword Tool. And this is a really cool tool that shows us how many times per month certain phrases get searched. Okay, so now we're over on the Google Keyword Tool, and I've typed in the word photographer in Pittsburgh again, and as you can see, this gets searched 9,900 times per month. Now that's a lot of searches. I usually tell people if it gets searched, 300 to 400 times per month, that's really good. So 9,900 is a lot. If you get 9,900 visitors to your site every month, I'm sure that's going to bring you in quite a bit of customers. But what this will also do is it'll show us other words that we could try to rank for on the first page of Google. So photographer in Pittsburgh, PA, wedding photographers in Pittsburgh, PA. I don't know if you do weddings at all. But it just gives us a bunch of other ideas of what we can rank your site for in Google, and it shows us their monthly searches. So if we rank your site in Google for all these terms, we're getting thousands and thousands of monthly searches each month coming into your website. Now what I did is I went onto Google, and when I typed in photographer in Pittsburgh, I actually wasn't able to find your site anywhere within the first 10 pages, which is the first 100 results. And this means the traffic and potential customers you could be getting isn't near what it actually is. So that means you're literally missing out on thousands of people visiting your site every month that could very likely become a customer for you. However, there is good news. If you do want some help with that, I can definitely do that for you, and I would be more than happy to provide that assistance and get your site ranking on the first page of Google for multiple keywords. And this is actually how I work. I offer 3, 6, and 12-month agreements, and you would be the only one in that area that I would work with. So I wouldn't work with any other photographers within the Pittsburgh area, so I wouldn't work with any of your direct competitors. And right now I'm actually offering a special Christmas bonus. So if you sign up by Christmas, I'll give you 66% off your first month, and I'll create a mobile-friendly version of your website for free, which usually costs about $497. And the reason it's important to have a mobile-friendly version of your website is because these days more and more people are using their mobile devices, like their smartphones or their tablets, to use the internet instead of actually using a desktop computer or a laptop. And I don't know if you've been on your website from a mobile phone, but it's actually kind of hard to navigate, and it's tough to find contact information and stuff like that. So having a mobile version of your website is very important, especially within the next coming months when more and more people are starting to use mobile devices to access the internet. So if this is something you want to get started on, if you want the free mobile website and you want some help ranking your website on the first page of Google for multiple keywords, feel free to shoot me an email at Brian, B-R-Y-A-N, at localseomanagers.com, or send me a message on LinkedIn, and I'll provide you with the next steps on how we could get you going with that. And I'll also be sending you over a Can You Endorse Me request on LinkedIn, and I would be happy to have your review if you're happy with the results of my work. And thank you again, Tommy, so much for this opportunity. I know I had a lot of fun doing this, and I hope you learned a few things, and I hope that I provided you with some insights on how to improve your online exposure. So I will talk to you later. Have a good day.